The Fallout series and I have a bit of a tumultuous relationship. When I picked up Fallout 3 back in the day, after hearing good things about it, I was looking forward to it. But I didn't get very far. I just didn't understand what kind of game it was. I didn't understand how it was supposed to be played. Once I got out of that tutorial vault and I was released into this giant open world with almost no guidance, I didn't really understand my objective. I didn't realize the fun was supposed to be derived from exploring. I guess I just hadn't had a game give me this much freedom before. I got confused and I didn't really understand what I needed to do to make progress. Find my dad? I don't know where he is. I wandered around the map, got killed by raiders, got upset, and decided not to play anymore because I didn't understand my objective. It wasn't until I came back to the game 2 years later, when I was in my trophy hunting phase, just trying to get easy trophies to pad out my stat card, that I finally went back and started playing more of the game and started to comprehend how to play it. In the end, I regard it as a pretty good game, not one I go back to frequently, but one I've got a fond memory of. A few years later, I picked up Fallout New Vegas, and that game blew me away. Slowly over time. Not at first, of course. You jump into the game, and it seems like a dry, drab desert. It's not all that exciting, but the more you play, the more you realize there's a lot of effort put into this. Compared to Fallout 3, the companions were much more interesting, had more things to say, and I wanted to spend more time with them. The reputation system was so much better than the karma system. I am not a fan of binary karma systems, and Fallout New Vegas' system was so much better. Quests had multiple ways to resolve them, and there were multiple ways to end the game, different factions you could align with. I really enjoyed that game so much that the expectations for the series got set so very high. So when Fallout 4 was announced, you better believe I pounced immediately. I got that game. I pre-ordered that game, which is not a thing I normally do, but I knew I was going to have a great time with Fallout 4 because I had such a great time with New Vegas. And then I started playing Fallout 4, and it made a great first impression. The graphics are great, the controls were great, they improved combat.
Don't worry, I'll take care of those raiders for you. By the way, there is a mutant hound in the background, and it's about to come and attack us, so we should probably get out of this dialogue.
But as I played through the game hour after hour, I started feeling worse and worse. I think the first stick in my eye came in the form of Preston Garvey. He kept giving me quests, and I kept doing those quests, and they were all very bad quests. But I kept doing them because I wanted to complete his quest line, and hours later I still wasn't done, and I finally realized these are repeatable Radiant quests. These bad quests aren't actually amounting to anything, he's just giving me stuff to do. Fluff, filler, garbage. So even though I say it made a good first impression, an hour later it had left a sour taste in my mouth. But I figured once I got away from the starting area, surely then the world would open up, I'd have more role-playing experiences. But everywhere I went, whenever I got a quest, it was usually very mundane, very linear. Go retrieve an item, or go kill a group of people. There's no secondary way to resolve this quest, there's no way to do it without killing anybody. The quest design was just so much worse. It didn't feel like the story was being tailored to my character based on the stats I'd given them. It didn't feel like it was improving on the formula, or even continuing the formula that was successful with New Vegas. It felt like a step backwards. But I trudged on. I forced myself to keep going forward because I was so hopeful that I'd be able to find good parts in Fallout 4. Surely the quest design would improve. Surely things would get better as I progressed. There's gotta be better quests somewhere in the game. I just gotta find them, right? But not really, no. And the main quest was very ham-fisted, very linear, and I really didn't care about finding Sean, which is what my primary objective. I was very frustrated that I was forced to kill Kellogg. There was no way to talk him down, no pacifist option. Again, Fallout New Vegas had set such a high bar by making every character in the game killable, but also you didn't need to kill anybody to beat the game. You could be a complete sociopath, or you could be a complete pacifist. And Fallout 4 is the exact opposite. You have to do it in the one specific way that has been ordained. It was such a disappointment for me. I set the game aside, the DLC came out, I didn't even play it. I still to this day have yet to play either Far Harbor or Nuka World. But what actually changed my mind about the game was the new survival mode. A while after the game's release, they came out with a survival mode, and eventually I decided to give that a try to see what it was like. And I had a much better time with the game as a result. Even though Fallout 4 makes for a pretty lackluster role-playing game in my eyes, it made for a pretty good post-apocalyptic open-world survival game. I liked setting up my base and then planning expeditions to go out and return. The game's a lot more intense when those 6 bullets that I find in a random toolbox can make the difference between whether or not I'm gonna get injured in a firefight or not.
Alright, I've got a couple bullets left in this pistol. Maybe I'll be able to take out this tank bot and friends. Probably not.
I remember that sometimes I had to change my strategy on the fly. Based on the resources I had and the resources I needed, maybe I wouldn't go on the expedition I had planned, or maybe I would try to run from a firefight instead of trying to win it. So coming back to Fallout 4, I had a much better time, because I had a different mindset and I had a different expectation for what the game could give me. And these days, my opinion on Fallout 4 has certainly softened. Especially because years later, my friend Zach and I have come back to this game, and we've had a great time.
Can you do me a favor?
What up?
Can you just yell backblast area clear before you shoot that?
Probably not, I'll forget.
Okay.
We can enjoy Fallout 4 for what it does right, and we can have a laugh at all the things it gets wrong. The laughably linear and honestly poorly written story, the memorable and meme-worthy characters. This game is buggy and glitchy, and sometimes that is incredibly frustrating, but other times it makes for a laugh riot.
Oh, look at there.
You know what else we need? The kill is fair, darling.
Whoa!
Some bear over the rainbow!
And it's been amazing to see what mods the community can come up with. We have had a lot of fun with a variety of mods over the years, including most recently Fallout London, which is shaping up to be perhaps the best mod the Fallout series has ever seen, at least in terms of a brand new adventure for everyone to enjoy. To this day, I'm still a bit disappointed at what Fallout 4 fails to do. I can see how much potential is there, and it's a bit sad to know that that potential just wasn't realized. But even though Fallout 4 doesn't meet my expectations for what I'd like from a Fallout game or a role-playing game, it at least still delivers a fairly enjoyable experience, I would say. It really is a mixed bag mess of a game. I enjoyed the open world exploration, but I detest the quest design. I really like the survival mechanics, even if I don't much care for the base building. I don't like how bad the writing is, except for those times where the writing is good. Usually whenever Nick Valentine is speaking, he's one of the best companions in the game. Hell, if not the entire Fallout series. I don't like how limited and predictable the dialogue system is, but I really do like the unpredictable nature of randomly generated legendary loot, which can sometimes turn an entire playthrough on its head whenever a superpowered weapon randomly drops, or a nice chunk of armor appears. That helps make each playthrough feel more customized. And the modding community has absolutely done some amazing work for this game. I love checking out these new adventures, new mechanics, new quests, characters, armor, weapons. I'm constantly being impressed with the talented work people have put in. So yeah, Fallout 4, it's not perfect. It's got some pretty noteworthy flaws. But that didn't stop me from having a good time eventually. And I'm sure I'll keep playing it well into the future.
Some bones. These do not interest me. Some weird cult member was here. Who was doing drugs, it looks like. Alright, not a whole lot here. Okay, Raider here! Raider here! Let's close that.